Ciao, what's going on, my friends? Stormie Culture here. In this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Halloween because we are right at the cusp of our holiday season here. And yeah, I want to give you some spiritual downloads. So, I know everybody thinks of Halloween as being access to more demonic energy, more paranormal energy, talking to ghosts, seeing ghosts, dressing up like God knows what, and expressing that level of shadow. And while I will congratulate you for your shadow expression, I don't enroll in it or involve in it because it is actually an opening to other entity types working with you through the year. That's kind of how they make their sneaky way into your energy. Now, do what you're going to do. Go trick-or-treating, take your kids out, dress up in the way that you feel that you need to. But what I would encourage you guys to do is to take a higher heart activation approach. So the veil for Halloween and for Dia de los Muertos, etc., is very, very thin. What does that mean? It means the difference between the 3D physical reality and other, the other in-between space, which could be fifth dimensional, it could be angelic and crystalline, or it can be paranormal and demonic. It could be hybrid children, it could be starseed energy, it could be soul family. There are many different energies that are available during the Halloween portal. But the far majority of humans use it as a paranormal demonic portal because we live in a world where the archons run the matrix. They are the shadow forces of God, effectively. I say of God because everything is God, and God allows Satan to have his little rule over this planet as much as God has the rule of the planet, because everything is allowed to one degree or another to allow humans to, with discernment, make choices for themselves. Now, I feel like what I encounter is so many people mistakenly tap into, they want the power of God. They want the power of power. They want raw power. So what they do on these portal days is they open up that raw power to black magic, to sorcery, to negative thinking, to inviting power in for the sake of power. Because, I mean, whether or not you're actually like calling in demonic forces, which I hope you're not, more for your sake than for anyone around you, I'm going to be honest. It wreaks havoc on your soul. It more has to do with like negative thought, negative belief patterns, and negative thinking. And it is a portal day. It's a sort of spiritual birthday, I almost would call it. It's like a spiritual celebration. And you can celebrate yourself in your light and in your love and receive greater power of awareness, power of self-realization, power of love. And all of those things are God power. God works through the power of self-realization and the power of love, the power of consciousness, the power of light. That is the consciousness, right? What is conscious is light. What becomes conscious is light power, and that is done through love, which is a raw power. So if you're looking for raw power and you feel it, because in this season we feel it, ask to tap into the crystalline matrix of love. Ask to receive God's power through love. Not even as a form of protection, because even in these holidays, like I used to think we need lots of protection, but not necessarily. You just need God. You just need love. You just need light. You just need consciousness. Now, consciousness will not deny you your choice. To become conscious, to be self-realized, is to be conscious. It is to see things in front of you so that you can choose the power of love, or you can choose the power of darkness, or the power of hijacking, or the power of manipulation. And I feel like what people mostly misinterpret with God energy is they think that God will just mask all the bad things and just only give you love. And as you walk through your experience, you are solely loved, and that you can just openly trust naively everything that comes to you as being only love. And then you surrender over to God, but God's testing you in every moment. God gave you the conscious awareness of your mind in order to perceive and have good judgment, accurate judgment. And what that comes with is extraordinary levels of discernment. So if you pray for love, if you pray for angelic compassion, a crystalline heart, if you pray to maintain your light and your consciousness and be self-realized, then you will be given opportunities to love, to be loved, and to become self-realized. Meaning, you'll be given tests, And this is how the universe works. I think it's really interesting that people just think like, oh, I can just give it up to God and to love and then just walk through and everything that happens is loving. It's not actually the case. God works through consciousness, and to be conscious is to make a conscious choice, and God will never take that choice away from you, generally speaking. God will just continue to give you new experiences to make new choices, and hopefully if you're praying for love and awareness, that you will continue to choose love and awareness as your power source rather than the addiction patterns, which are the archon patterns, which are the raw power that comes from passion, but passion can be love. It comes from passion like anger. It comes from passion like destruction. It comes from vengeance. It comes from the want to pummel over other people's wills. It comes from the want to manipulate or to have it your way. And a lot of these wants, a lot of these desires for many of you are subconscious. So always take a little care and love with yourself. You know, if you're doing it consciously, then, I mean, you're probably have a personality disorder. But if you're unaware of this, what happens is it runs in the deep subconscious of the mind, because we are made, yes, in likeness of God, and we are also made in likeness of God's shadow, which is archon. And it's a constant choice every day to choose the loving power, which doesn't mean be a doormat. It doesn't mean roll over. It means use your eyes to see what's in front of you and make conscious choices towards loving behavior, towards the expression of love, towards, I'll say compassion, but it's a lot of that compassion is the compassion to the self, forgiveness to the self for choosing experiences that you don't prefer. And through maintaining your self-realization and being self-realized, which is to realize in every moment that you are given a choice in every moment. So you might be very godly in the beginning of the day, and then you might be given a choice. We can call it demonic, but it's really just like the forces of power that come into our heart space. So you can be given a choice later in the day where you are tempted into a darker power, and you might choose that power. And now you just neglected the God power that you were given earlier in the day. And it does flip like this. It's very stormy. It's very stormy. It flips. The script flips with most humans until they learn to develop their character to be so true to self that they always choose in a consistent pattern of belief. And when you always choose in a consistent pattern of belief, that's when you can trust. That's when you can trust God. That's when you can trust that you're not being naive by walking through life the way that you do, regardless of the circumstances that come up, because you have chosen who you are in character. And it doesn't matter what circumstances approach you when you know who you are, because you act in a consistent way. And that is what it is to be self-realized. It is to understand your consistent behavior, who you are and how you act consistently, not how you act based on the circumstances that come to you, based on the random chaos of events that is the matrix, that is humanity. So I encourage you on Halloween, while the veil is thin, to tap into the power that is available of love. The power of its opposite is very, very, very present during this season. So when you see its presence, when you see the more demonic activity, when you see people manipulating or dressing up like crazy characters, etc., which again, I won't make that mean anything negative. It just is what it is. That you can choose away from it. Or if you do choose to dress in a way or invoke a deeper, darker shadow aspect of yourself, then acknowledge for yourself that there is karma with that. You can't just occupy your shadow without consequence. Even one day a year. That one day a year is enough for your shadow to say, happy birthday to me, I'm hijacking you for the year. In all the ways you don't know behind the scenes all year. It's like a shadow birthday. So instead of taking the shadow birthday party, take the crystalline light birthday party. And it doesn't mean you have to be holier than thou. It doesn't mean you have to walk around and demean people around you that are dressing up or trick-or-treating or whatever. It just means that you occupy your own power without giving it over to your shadow or other people's shadow. It just means that you walk with the eyes of discernment and being self-realized. Like, I know who I am, and regardless of what I choose to do during this season, I'm going to be conscious about it, and I'm not going to give my shadow free rein. Again, it's not just a day. Like, when you give your shadow free rein for a day, you give it the entire year. It's a program. It's a software program that gets downloaded this time every year. It doesn't have to. It's just the way that we've kind of been programmed to receive this ritual. But again, to have that much shadow, there is that much light present. If you want to connect with your starseed families, if you want to connect in your meditations with your higher self and give yourself some real DNA upgrades, this is the season also to do it. It's very, very available. Very available. If you guys want help with that, I just uploaded a Halloween transmission channel with my elemental guardians and the guardian of storm into the source code. I will leave a link below. You can join us in the source code for a monthly membership and receive access to that, among many other channels and transmissions, and the understanding of enlightenment and Atman and what it is to be self-realized and make powerful choices for yourself to have a beautiful life. That's what we do here. We do all of this to have a beautiful life. So happy Halloween. Let me think, is there anything else I want to share? You have the power within your own heart and within your own eyesight to create or to destroy. This is the season where everybody goes on unconscious autopilot to use the power between the veil to destroy, to use that ability to see through the veil to then become some sort of manipulator, manipulatee, victim, persecutor kind of relationship. And what I would encourage you to do is just reject it. Like, just walk away from it, because this season is also highly powerful for connection to your highest source consciousness. And you can meditate with your higher self. Your higher self will be very available for upgrades in this season and will be very easy to take on those upgrades, but the ease comes from your ability to discern and walk away from demonic activity, walk away from temptation, walk away from negativity, including negative thinking, including reptilian thinking, including fear-based thinking. And it's not that fear's not real. It's not that any of it's not real. It's real. It's real. Evil's real. But it's your choice to not engage with it. It is your choice to say, in one way or another, I acknowledge your power, darkness, and I choose to not play with you today. I choose to play even more with my light, because the law of balance is real. When there's a lot of darkness, there's a lot of light on the table. People like me are scooping it up right now. I'm just like, ooh, bring it in. It's so good. There's so much. And that's what I want to encourage you guys to do, is to think of this holiday and this season less about spooky trick or treat, less about scary things and embodying those scary things, and more about how can you decide to turn away from the things that are scary. How can you acknowledge them and their power and just say, no, thank you. No, thank you today. No, thank you. I'm not interested. And you're going to have to say that a lot during the season, because to have the veil thin means all of the energies are really potent and available, both the light energies and the dark energies. So they're all kind of knocking on everybody's door saying, look at me, give me power. I want a host. I want to have fun. Like, they come back from the dead. They come back from the underworld. They come back from all regions of the darkness in order to be given access to life. Why give them access to life when you can give yourself access to life? This is your source power. It's your ability to create or destroy. When you give another entity power, even your shadow, that level of power, what you're doing is destroying your light. Your light is your life force. It's your spiritual money. It's your ability to feel whole. It's your ability to navigate through your life without getting knocked down. When you're low on life force, you feel low on energy. You feel low on motivation. You feel low on your ability to crack through life and make a dent and make an impression and like get your needs met. And to be motivated and inspired and creative and artistic. You effectively remove your ability to create. So this is my educational video, my little educational rant. Enjoy it. And again, I encourage you to choose the light. I encourage you to choose love, the highest form of love and compassion for the self, love and compassion for your own life force. Keep it sacred. Keep it under, not like under wraps, because you don't necessarily need to protect it. You just need to choose it. You just need to choose it through your active choice, which again will come a lot through the coming days. Like, you will be given many choices. Engage with destructive power or engage with creative power. And if there's a lot of destructive power around, which there is this time of year, then you have to become that creative power. You have to become that loving light force that creates for yourself and others, that can help cut through that veil and give access to more of the higher elemental realms, the angelic realms, to be able to facilitate that really powerful light energy. This is a really beautiful time of year to manifest. There's a lot of manifestation energy present, but you have to deny the shadow. You can't have it both ways. You can't. I'm sorry. If you give the shadow access, then it takes access over the whole. Of course, these things are allowed by God because God allows all things, because God allows you choice and God wants you to learn. And if you can learn, then God's got a lot of power for you, you know. Source has a lot of power for you. But if you don't learn, then you got a lot of lessons, a lot of hard beat lessons, a lot of angst, a lot of struggle, a lot of conflict. And if you choose that, what I would say to you is enjoy it. You may as well, because you chose it. Okay. Don't amass too much karma this time of year. It builds up. It'll give you karma for the whole year. And I'll say one more note, actually. You know, there have been times in the past where Spirit has told me that there are so many people that do active rituals on Halloween to actually hurt other people, or to try to claim someone else's destiny, or to try to take something that is not theirs. And I would encourage you not to fucking seance in a cemetery. Or seance by the water. Or is that, like, enough, you guys. Some of you need to hear this. Like, stop it. It creates a lot of negative karma for you, especially when those negative deeds or acts are aimed at people with angelic light force, which they frequently are. When we don't receive it, it's automatically reflected, and then that person that did that ritual gets 10 times that negativity back, and it locks them into these karmic cycles, and then they wonder, why is everything not going well for me? I did this act, I prayed to the demon. Well, hey, jackass, because you prayed to a demon. Like, what'd you think? Like, evil always collapses on itself. It's very predictable. It always ends in conflict. Evil always conflicts within itself. It's very real. It has a real power. And if you just, like, step back and let evil do whatever it's going to do, the demonic forces do whatever they're going to do, they will consume each other. They eat each other up. And then those of us in the light and the love power sit back and we're like, oh, that's an interesting show. I'm so glad I wasn't involved. You couldn't loop me in because it's impossible, because I have a secure content of character. I know who I am. So focus on your character, decide who you are, and actively look through the veil, which is your ability to intuit during the season what is right and what is wrong for you, based in what is coming from self-realization and your ability to choose well for yourself and decide well for yourself and others, or your ability to do things that would harm yourself or others. And that is the veil being thin. It's your ability to see the way that you make decisions, to see how you decide. That's the thin veil. We could make it like archons versus angels, or you could just say it is literally your thoughts. And your thoughts are going to be more transparent now than ever. If you think very negatively overall, negative thoughts are going to be very present for you. You have the ability to choose new now, and in doing so, it creates a new cycle of awareness for your subconscious, because the veil is thin, meaning your conscious and your subconscious are real close right now. Your ability to reprogram your mental mindset right now is high. It's high. So why reprogram it for fear? Right? Why reprogram it for damsel in distress mode, regardless of your gender? Why not program it for empowerment, for power in your ability to choose well? I'd say in the light and in love, but those are almost oversimplified. It's your ability to choose well, because the responsibility always falls back on you, regardless of how much protection you have spiritually, etc. The responsibility always comes back to your ability to choose well. So, how will you choose? How will you reprogram your mind during this season? What thoughts will you give attention to? What will you give your focus to? And I hope it's good. I hope it's well-intentioned. And I hope you're creating a life that you would enjoy and prefer, rather than taking the slip and slide, the slip and slide roller coaster, to having a hellish ride for the next year with steep karma with your shadow. When we choose shadow external, we're really just choosing the shadow within the self, and the shadow within the self can show itself in many different people and situations, but it's your shadow. Acknowledge your shadow and choose well. That's what I got for you guys. Also, I have 2 openings for November for Akashic Records readings. If you have been interested in doing a reading with me, understanding your higher potential, seeing what your soul, your higher self, wants to give and grant you, then now is the time to get a hold of me. I will leave my email in the description below. It's hi@stormiecalder.com. Email me and we'll see if that's a good fit for you. I have 2 sessions open for November. And then generally speaking, I open those up to ongoing coaching. If that's something that you want, we'll talk about it. If that's something that feels right for you. But there's no obligation to do that. It's just, me providing a beautiful Akashic session. What the Akashic Records have been working on with me that they wanted me to share with you guys is that when you work with me in an Akashic session, you are getting an attunement and an activation for your soul, learning the language of your soul, the language of the Akasha, and the language of God's source, so that everything syncs up, so that everybody understands everybody. This is a spiritual activation. It is like God doesn't always understand how your soul speaks. The Akashic Records don't always understand how your human speaks. And there's often mistranslations all throughout, which is why people will engage in spiritual activities and then be like, I'm falling, I don't know where I'm going, like it's not working. It's because there are different languages at different centers. I have the ability spiritually to sync you up because I understand the language of all 3 centers. So I understand the language of the human, I understand the language of the Akashic Records and the guardians there, and I understand the language of God's source intelligence and the Most High at all levels. And we sync up your higher self's ability to navigate between those 3 realms to help the spiritual downloads and the understanding come to the human in a way the human can understand through human vocabulary through me, because I understand these things. So it is an attunement to you. It's an attunement to your highest power. And I don't know anyone else that does that work, to the point where the Akashic Records were like, start talking about it. We want more people to have access to this. I was like, okay. So that's where I'm at with that. And keep your eyes peeled with me. I will be doing an 11/11 ceremony and workshop in November as well. I'll let you guys know when I post that. Until next time, have a beautiful Halloween. I will see you soon. Lots of love. Bye.